Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a wonderful day so far. So I have here a basket of amigurumis, and there are a few that don't fit in there as well. So there's quite a few amigurumis new this week, and I'm very excited to show them to you guys. I've been busy crocheting and working on both my Etsy shops. The plushies that you see here, they should be on my Etsy shop by the time this video is up. So if you're interested in any of them, the link will be in the description box below for both the plushie shop and my pattern shop. But I think there's only one of these is an original pattern of mine. But yes, let's get started. Super excited. Okay, so the very first thing I'll start with, I guess I'll try to go in the order of how I crocheted them. Not that it really matters, but this one is my original pattern, and this is for Valerie the cat, or Valerie the kitten. You can find it on my Etsy shop, my Etsy pattern shop, because if you missed last week's video, basically I have two Etsy shops now. One for just my patterns, and then a second one which is for the plushies, because I checked and it's like almost 80 patterns on there, so it was a lot to have both patterns and plushies. It looked a little bit confusing for people who may not be crocheters, seeing patterns and plushies together, and maybe getting a little bit confused. So anyways, just to help make it easier, I made a second shop. So a plushie shop and a pattern shop. Anyways, this is Valerie the cat, or Valerie the kitten, and I decided to add a tail on her. And this was using a piece of scrap yarn, so I was really happy. I'm always happy to finish up some scrap yarn. They tend to bother me when they're just sitting there not doing anything, and like I'm so close to finishing up a skein of yarn only to have a scrap ball left, and then I feel like I had to find something to finish up that piece. So I did, and I feel like this is a perfect pattern to use scraps on, because it really doesn't use a lot of yarn. And if you have enough yarn, you can make a tail. If you don't have enough yarn, you can skip the tail. I've made them both ways, and they're so cute. But look at her. She's a really cute small. She's so soft. I really enjoyed using this skein of yarn. I'm a little sad I don't have it anymore, but I put it to good use. So there's the first one. Then we're going to go into some minty color amigurumis. So this is a bunny. This is a free pattern on Instagram, and it is actually a no-sew pattern. So I love making these. This is probably the 5th one that I've made. You make the 2 ears first. Then you put them to the side. You start crocheting the head. When you get to a certain round, it tells you exactly what stitch to add each ear to, which is amazing. I love that because it has to be in line with the little feet too. These are bobble stitches, the arms and the feet. So if you listen to the pattern, you will have a perfectly, or almost perfectly, aligned bunny. And I just think it's adorable. I've made a yellow one before, a pink one. I feel like I made orange too. I made a couple different ones, but I'm pretty sure this is like my 5th time using this pattern, and I enjoyed it. So super cute. I love this color yarn as well. And of course, I was trying to work through that skein of yarn. There's just a little bit left, so most likely next week there'll be a couple, maybe the last of the mint projects for a little bit. But I went back to a very fun pattern that I love making. In this, I think it's called a loaf cat, but it's a free, no, sorry, it's not free. It's a paid for pattern on Etsy. It's about $5, and there's different versions of it. I bought the basic version a long time ago when she first came out with this pattern, but now there's like accessories and like a bunch of different things for it. So I just have the basic one, which has the pattern to have it like patchy, and then you could of course just make the whole thing one solid color too. So I love it though. I think the white is cute. Next time though that I make this version with like the patches, I think I'm gonna make the ears this same color as the body, because I feel like they get a little bit lost, the ears. So that'll probably be the only thing that I change next time, but I really enjoyed making it. I love the baby colors. Super cute. And then, like I was saying, you could of course make it one solid color. So I'm using up some dark gray yarn. I still have some of this left too. But last week, I'm pretty sure it was last week, there were a few gray color plushies, dark gray, and I'm still not done with that skein. I actually only finished one, was it one? One skein of yarn and 2 scrap balls this week. But look how cute. I love it. Okay, and then third, for that same pattern, that same pattern, except I used different yarn and different size eyes this time. I used some pretty big safety eyes, but this is, it's not worsted weight yarn. I forgot what type of yarn this is. I don't think I have any back here, but it was fun to work with. It gets a little bit almost tangled, like caught on the hook, where you don't get like the whole entire strand of yarn, because it kind of, it's hard to explain, but it was fun. It just took me a little bit longer to make, and the sizing came out a little bit bigger, even though everything I made is with a 5mm H hook. So there's the eyes, the differences with the eyes. Let me know what you guys like better. Do you like the big cat eyes or the smaller cat eyes, or do you think like it varies? It can depend, and like, you know, each size eye can suit the cats differently. And this is the skein that I finished. It was a tiny little skein of yarn, almost like this size right here. It was a type of yarn called softball. It doesn't come with a whole lot, but it's a little bit of a thicker yarn. I want to say like a 5. And it can be a little bit hard to work with, in a sense that the skein comes with so little, and I was always scared to use it for a project and not have enough, because again, the skein comes with so little, and I only had one left, and only of that color. So I was like, what do I do? Well, I went on my Instagram and I found a pattern that I have been meaning to do for a really long time. And I thought, you know what, this is the perfect yarn. If there's not enough, I'm gonna wing it and just close it off early, because it was a simple shape. So I'm really, really happy with the way this came out. This is a free pattern on Instagram, and it's just, I think it's just called like Long Duck or something like that. It's so cute, guys. I love it. I'm so happy I decided to finally make it. I think part of me hesitated so much for so long to make it because I didn't know how big it would be. So I'm assuming with my tension, because my tension is, of course, could be different than yours, and probably is. If I use regular worsted weight with this pattern, I guess it would probably be like up to here, maybe in height. So it would be smaller for sure. Because this is, I feel like it was a 5 weight yarn. I think that's what it said. So yeah, this is the skein of yarn that I finished, and I was able to complete the pattern with the yarn and still have a scrap ball left. So this is exactly how the pattern has you make it. I think it's so cute, and I went ahead and combined it because I needed orange, and like I said, the yellow was the only color that I had in softball. So I used acrylic yarn, and I just added, I think, 1 or 2 stitches to each item, you know, to make it, to each part, to make it a little bit bigger. And I think it worked out perfectly, but it's so cute. Just this little hair and his feet. Yeah. Really cute. I just think he looks really unique, so I love him. And then I had a small scrap ball left. So again, I went through Instagram and I found a free duck pattern, and I've made this one in acrylic worsted weight 4 yarn before, and it had never turned out this cute. Part of me wants to buy some more yellow softball yarn just to make ducks, because this is so cute. It looks so chunky, and that also could be because, again, I'm so used to working with acrylic yarn, 4 weight yarn, I mean, sorry, that it's so different when I make something with like a 5 weight yarn or a different type of yarn. Yeah, but I love my worsted weight yarn, don't get me wrong. I just think it's so fun to branch out a little bit and work with different yarns, because like I said, I've made this exact pattern before in worsted weight yarn and I love it a lot more this time around. Next week I'll see if I have time to make another one of these and I can show them to you side by side, but so cute. I really love these projects. These two are probably my favorite projects of the week. However, I love them all, and I really love the colors on this one too. But that could be again because this is blanket yarn, and normally I work with worsted weight yarn. So yeah, not too many projects this week. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess 1 a day average. There are a couple days where I wasn't able to crochet, but I did have a lot of fun. And I don't know why it takes me so long to actually find a pattern to make. And sometimes I'll go off of like my yarn, and sometimes I'll go off of like the pattern that I want to make. It just takes me a while to find something to make lately. So that's a struggle that I've had for a couple years, I feel like. So I went back to pattern making, by the way. The platypus pattern is out and it's on my Etsy pattern shop. I should have brought that to show you guys. I left it downstairs because I was taking pictures of it. But I'll bring it next week, and I won't count it as finished next week either because I finished it now. I feel like it was about a month ago. So I am super excited for that pattern. I really had a lot of fun making it, and I think it's funny how people recognize it. It looks very similar to Fairy the platypus, but I did just name it Platypus Pattern. That one that I took pictures of, that is the 3rd one that I've made. I made 2 before and I've taken them to markets and they've sold. Just pretty much everyone knows when you see a platypus in like a teal color, you know, it has a special place in our hearts for those that watch the cartoon show. So yeah, I really enjoyed making that pattern, and I'm glad it's finally released and I did it. Something that I have been struggling a little bit with is trying to figure out, okay, so I made 5 amigurumis this week. Let's use that as an example. I sell plushies at a consignment shop. So I have my plushies there, and now I have my plushies on an Etsy shop. Right now I'm not worried about markets, but market season will bring on a whole different challenge. But right now it's just the consignment shop and my Etsy shop. So I'm trying to figure out which ones do I put where, which is hard because I'll have, like, for example, you know, this is one of my favorite makes this week. Before I had the Etsy shop, it was no problem. I'm going to take it to the consignment shop and see if it sells. But now, you know, I love it so much. I think it's so cute. I want to put it on my Etsy shop. So that's something that I'm kind of struggling with, is figuring out what do I put where, especially for projects like that where I don't have the yarn to remake it. So if I put it on my Etsy shop, and let's say I took it to the consignment shop and it sold, I would have no way of being able to remake it, unless if I ordered the yarn, of course. But I think I have my shop setting to ship out items within like 1 to 3 days. So there's no way I would get the yarn on time and be able to make it and ship it out on time. But yeah, my Etsy shop is mostly to sell what I have made anyways. So what are your do you have any advice, any tips on how to divide the plushies between the shop and the online shop? And like I said, markets, that'll be later. But for right now, I'm just trying to decide those two. I think it's gonna be hard, of course, but I'm gonna have to make decisions of, I really like this plushie, but I'm gonna take it to the shop, or I really like this one, but I'm only gonna post it online. I mean, I guess it has to come down to that. Maybe I will like to divide in half what I make every week. Like, let's say there's 6 plushies and I'll do 3 for the shop and 3 for online. I don't know, it's hard. It's hard because especially if you think about it, because online the sales are slow, you know, especially because I had to open up a brand new shop. So there's no traffic on that shop yet, you know. By the way, if you have a chance and you could heart the shop, make it, I think you can just heart it, and then that, like, it's supposed to help boost like the traffic to your shop. Like, Etsy is seeing that someone liked your shop, so yeah, it's supposed to be beneficial. If you have the time to do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. But if not, no worries. Yeah, there's like no traction, no foot traffic in the online shop yet. So I feel like if I put something on there, it's not going to sell for a while, versus me putting something in the physical shop. It has a chance of selling a lot faster, and me seeing, you know, the profit for that a lot sooner. So there's a lot to think about. I could go more in depth in it, but yeah, I would love any advice that you guys have for that. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know if you guys like the bigger eyes or little eyes more for the cats. And most importantly, if you guys have any tips for what I'm doing. Thank you again, and I'll see you guys next time. By the way, don't forget, both are linked in the description box below, both Etsy shops. Okay, bye!